We shall continue to read one paragraph in one video, right? So यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है कि जो यहाँ पे लिखा था कि these is a residue of each chain. एक सेकंड कहाँ पे थे? There is a residue on each chain every 3.4 angstrom in the z direction. We have assumed an angle 36 degree between the adjacent residues in the same chain, so that the structure repeats after 10 residues on each chain. That is 34 angstrom. The distance of the phosphorus atom from the fiber axis is 10 angstrom. At the phosphorus, at the phosphate, this is angstrom, so angstrom sign is like this. As the phosphates are on the outside, the cations have easy access to them. Phosphate outside पे होता है तो phosphates जो होते हैं negative होंगे. Okay, the structure is an open one and its water content is rather high. At lower water contents, we would expect the bases to tilt so that the structure could become compact. Novel feature of the structure is the manner in which the two chains are held together by the purine and the pyrimidine bases. The planes of the bases are perpendicular to the fiber axis. So जो planes होते हैं bases के वो perpendicular होते हैं fiber axis. They are joined together in pairs. A single base from one chain being hydrogen bonded to the single base from the other chain, so that the two lies side by side with the identical z coordinates. One of the pair must be purine and the other must be a pyrimidine for bonding to occur. The hydrogen bonds are made as follows: purine position 1 to pyrimidine position 1, purine position 6 to pyrimidine position 6. If it is assumed that the bases only occur in the structure in the most plausible tautomeric form, that is the keto rather than the enol configuration, if it is assumed that the bases only occur in the structure in the most plausible tautomeric forms, it is found that only specific pairs of bases can bond together. These are adenine with thymine and guanine with cytosine, which I already told you. So purine with pyrimidine, purine with pyrimidine. In other words, if an adenine forms one member of a pair, देखो ये हम ऐसा भी तो कह सकते थे, अगर प्यूरिन को pyrimidine के साथ बॉन्ड करना है तो प्यूरिन सर A and G, pyrimidines are T and C. So A could also bind with C. बट जब पता चला कि कैसे हमने इसका स्ट्रक्चर पढ़ने की और कोशिश करी तो पता चला कि A T के साथ ही बाइंड करता है, A C के साथ बाइंड नहीं करेगा. Similarly, G binds with only C, it will not bind with T. In other words, if an adenine forms one member of the pair on either chain, then on these, अगर उसने ये होता कि adenine के सामने adenine आ जाता, फिर क्या होता? On either chain, then on these assumptions the other member would be must be thymine. मतलब अच्छा ये इसमें ये लिखा हुआ है कि अगर एक adenine है तो दूसरा thymine होना चाहिए. Similarly for guanine and cytosine, the sequence of bases on a single chain does not appear to be restricted in any way. However, if one specific pair of bases can be formed, it follows that if the sequence of the bases on one chain is given, then the sequence of the other chain is automatically determined, because there is a complementarity. It has been found experimentally that the ratio of the amounts of adenine to thymine and the ratio of the amounts of guanine to cytosine are always very close to unity for deoxyribonucleic acid, which is actually the Chargaff's rule. It is probably impossible to build this structure with a ribose sugar in place of deoxyराइबोस. अगर राइबोस होती तो वो बहुत रिएक्टिव होती, तो हमें यहाँ पे डीएनए में deoxyराइबोस ही प्रेजेंट होती है. जो एक्स्ट्रा ऑक्सीजन एटम होता है वो टू क्लोज वंडरवॉल कांस्टेंट क्या होता कि वो एक वंडरवॉल कॉन्टैक्ट बना देता, मतलब एक तरह से वो रिएक्टिव हो जाता, राइट. रिएक्टिव हो जाता तो फिर वो डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता पढ़ने के लिए, मतलब करने के लिए भी डिफ़िकल्ट हो जाता. द प्रीवियसली ओके वील स्टडी इन द नेक्स्ट.